Good morning from day 38 of my 2024 AT journey. Today was a good morning. I slept terribly, but despite that, I've had a good morning. I slept terribly just because the hostel I was at, well, the hostel itself is great. I have no bad things to say about the hostel. It's not an AT hostel. It's geared towards anyone in the area. Generally, adventurous people that are out hiking or doing water sports or biking or whatever. But because of that, there's no such thing as hiker midnight, and sometimes people are coming in late or leaving earlier than like a hiker would normally be leaving a hostel. So I was just not able to really go to sleep or stay asleep until pretty late. The door to my bunk room was a snug fit, so anytime anyone opened or closed the door, it sounded like someone was busting the door open. And then it's electronic locks, so anytime anyone was entering the keypad number, it would like beep. And maybe I should have had earplugs in, but I didn't. But anyway, I didn't sleep great, but I was able to sleep in this morning. My friend Jill came out. She lives about an hour and a half away from Conway. So she came up and met me this morning, and we went out to breakfast at, I think it was called Banners Cafe in North Conway. Delicious food. Had 2 scrambled eggs, 2 pieces of French toast, like 4 pieces of bacon, some home fries, iced coffee, and orange juice. Ate it all. And then she took me to the grocery store to resupply. Since that is the one negative thing about the hostel in Conway, is there's not much in walkable distance in terms of resupply. There's some convenience stores and gas stations, but that's about it. So Jill took me to a legit grocery store for resupply, and then she brought me back to trail, which was awesome. I hit trail probably about 12 o'clock. I was only going to do 7 miles to Zealand Hut today, and then like a 9 tomorrow, and then Franconia Ridge on Tuesday, and into Franconia Notch Wednesday. But Tuesday there are thunderstorms coming in, and I don't particularly want to be on Franconia Notch in thunderstorms. So I have changed my plans to be more aggressive. Today I'm doing 12.5 miles to Guyot shelter, which is pretty aggressive considering I didn't get on trail till noon. It's like 12.5 miles and like 4,000 feet of elevation gain. So I'll be getting to camp later than I usually do. And then tomorrow is like 15.5 and like 5,000 something gain. That ends me at Liberty Springs campsite. So I'll be going up and over Franconia Ridge. So that'll be good weather for Franconia Ridge. Aggressive, yes, but it's a little, like slightly more miles than the Prezi day, with less vertical gain. So I know I can do it. It's just gonna be a long day, hard day. But I'd rather do that than be up there in thunderstorms. And then I'll have like 3 or 4 miles into town Tuesday during the storms. So a Nero, and then Wednesday I'll 0. So 2 big days, but I know I have a Nero and a 0 coming up after it. And here's a little bit of the trail right now that I have for the day already. I've done 3.3 miles, 1,600 feet in an hour and a half. So the terrain today is a little bit easier, and I had been told that. I had been told that by some Nobos though, and I think I've said before, I've learned to never trust a Nobo So I took it with a grain of salt, but it actually has been much easier. I was able to maintain a 2-mile-per-hour pace up my 1,600-foot climb out of Crawford Notch this morning. And right now I have a really nice flat / downhill section between Ethan Pond campsites and Zealand Hut, which I think is like a couple miles long, maybe like 3 or 4 miles of this. So I'm pushing 2.5 to 3 miles per hour right now. I do still have quite a bit of elevation to climb at the end of my day up to Guyot. I have to climb up Mount Zealand, which is a 4,000 footer, and then traverse over to Guyot. But as long as I can like keep up my pace pretty good, of course right now there's like all these rocks, what the heck, but as long as I can keep up my pace pretty good until the base of that climb, I should still be able to get into camp at a reasonable hour. It's not supposed to rain tonight, and normally I would just set up my tent, but if I get in late, I might just camp in the shelter. It's supposed to be a super nice shelter. It's like elevated, and I guess has really awesome sunrise views. So I'm super pumped for that, because I do want to get up early tomorrow to start my day early since I've got such a big day. So having that sunrise view as motivation will be wonderful. I'm just hoping I can get to camp at a somewhat reasonable time tonight to give my body the time it needs to rest and recover after a hard day today on not much sleep last night. But feeling good. My breakfast is fueling me amazingly. And some friend time was nice. So gonna put the phone away so I can keep pushing and maybe get some water in me. And I'll see you later. Bye. Alright, so I just popped out of the trees and have a view of the Whitehall rock slide. Here, it's Whitehall Mountain. Not going up there, but I am going up there. That's Z Cliff. And then somewhere behind it I think is Mount Zealand. But yeah, doing good. Just under 2.5 hours in, and I am about to hit 6 miles. You'll probably hear my watch beep momentarily. Feeling good. There's the 6-mile mark. So yeah, 6 miles. That was a 19-minute mile that I just did. 6 miles in 2.5 hours. Moving pretty good. I've probably got 1.7 miles left to Zealand Falls Hut, and shortly before that is where I'm going to start going uphill towards Mount Zealand. Alright, so I am at Z Cliff. Just went over the top of it. I'm going to continue my journey upwards towards Zealand Mountain. Thought this was an interesting trail junction. It's on the Conway. And the trail literally is just like over this crazy bog. It is 4 o'clock. I'm 8 3/4 miles in. What does that mean? I have 3 1/4 left. I think I've got still about 1,500, or no, I don't think that much. Over 1,000, but under 1,500 feet to go. It's like 600 more feet to the summit of Zealand Mountain. Then I go down a little bit, and then I ascend up, I don't know, maybe another 500 up to Mount Guyot, which is where I'll start looking for stealth spots. And if I don't find a stealth spot, I will be descending down. It's like 400 feet downhill. and 0.8 miles off the AT to Guyot shelter. I have enough water that I don't need to go down there, so I could stealth somewhere up on the ridge. It is supposed to be a little bit chilly and windy tonight though, so might be a smarter move to go down to the shelter regardless. We'll see what time it is and how I feel and what types of stealth spots there are. All right, I'm almost near the summit of Zealand Mountain. I think I have like 0.4, 0.3 to go. But I just wanted to come on with a PSA. Uphill hikers have the right of way. Tell me why this entire time going uphill, 75% of the time, I've had to be the one to pull off the trail for downhill hikers to pass me. Seriously, it's been so bad in the whites of like people hiking downhill not yielding to uphill hikers. And I know it's because the whites have see so much traffic, see so many day hikers, people that don't know the rules. But I'm here to share the rules. Uphill hikers have the right of way. All right, I'm at the summit of Zealand Mountain. It's wooded. There's actually some really nice stealth camping spots up here. FYI. I'm not gonna stop here because I gotta try to get up and over Guyot. But it would be a great place to camp for sure because it's pretty protected from the wind. But yeah, it was only 0.1 off of the main trail, pretty flat. So I'm gonna boogie back onto the AT and keep moving. It is 4:45 and I've done 10.43 miles. So I think I have about 2 left to go to Guyot shelter, if that's my end destination. I feel like it should be. It'll be nice not to have to set up my tent. I don't have to hang a bear line, which I would have to do both of those if I stealth somewhere. So we shall see what I end up doing. See you later. Bye. All right, so I just went over the summit of Mount Guyot behind me. Didn't know it was the summit until I checked the map. I thought that was the summit, but turns out that's just a ridge line. I have not really seen any good stealth spots, so I'm gonna head over to the cutoff trail that I need to take to the shelter and start working my way down that. If I see a good stealth spot before I drop 400 feet that feels protected from the wind, I might take it. But there was also a sign back a little ways that I'm in the Alpine zone, so I don't know how far I need to drop down that trail to get out of the Alpine zone, because you can't camp in the Alpine zone. So I might end up going down to the shelter after all. I did briefly consider continuing on the AT because I was like, all right, I'm hiking a mile essentially off the AT and down 450 feet or so. What if I just kept hiking on the AT? Are there any stealth spots further along? And supposedly there are some stealth spots up near, what would it be, North Twin Mountain, which means I'd have to start ascending up another mountain tonight. But stealth sites just make me nervous because what if I get there and someone's already in them? B, what if I get there and they're not protected from the wind? And C, what if they're not legal? People just put comments on Far Out all the time about stealth spots, and sometimes they're not legal stealth spots, and I play by the rules. So I think I'm just going to go to the shelter